Hey, what's up, everybody? It's 1 o'clock now, so we're gonna get rolling on this thing. Um, Great. Thanks, everybody who's here. Um, as you probably know, we're gonna be doing some Photoshop today. I'm Thomas, by the way, if you guys don't know who I am. I'm the president of the Graphic Design Guild at MSU and also like a, graphic design student and all that jazz. And yeah, just gonna teach you how to send yourself on a vacation via Photoshop. If you don't know where you can get Adobe, all students have it for free actually at MSU. Um, and if you go onto your student account through the MSU website, you can get your own Adobe. I'm just adjusting my mic. Sorry, guys. I don't want it to be too loud. Yeah, so tell your friends, let everybody know that this is going on. We want to get as many people here as possible so that we can get a bunch of fun photos out of this. Um, so yeah, shoot out those feelers. And if they get in early enough, then we will just be starting. I think we'll start like for real Photoshop in just a couple minutes. And yeah, so cool. I guess we can just kind of hang out for a hot second and chat for maybe like 5 minutes and just let people kind of roll in for a bit if you guys are down. Woo! What's up, Janie? Welcome. Yeah, welcome, Janie and Jenna and Meredith and Rosemary. And I think I saw Maida was here at one point too. So we got the whole gang. It's very exciting. Also, let me know if anything's going weird with the stream, guys. This is a new way of doing this, so we're not totally sure like what to expect from all of this. So yeah, should be fun. All right, I'm gonna get off that screen just so that it's not on there all the time. Cool. Yay, Maida is here. Hi, Maida. Welcome home. I mean, for a while now, but all right. If you hear anybody in the background, that's just my brother Peter. He kind of had has to. I can't kick him out. What's up, Riley? Oh, this is so exciting, guys. This is fun. This is gonna be a good little time. We love snacks. Janie, is your taste back? Is everything? How are you feeling? Okay, so let's get started on one thing that I wanted to show off. We're gonna find a photo to do some to put me on top of. Basically, we're gonna composite. Um, I'll just start talking about what exactly we're gonna do today, and I'll just give you the quick little rundown. Um, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make it really simple for anyone that hasn't used Photoshop before, and hopefully for people who have, teach you a few little tricks. Um, but what we're going to do is we're going to take a photo of like a happy, fun vacation spot. Mine's going to be pretty tropical, I think. And we are going to then take a picture that I've taken of myself earlier today, and we're going to put me in there. And we're going to make me feel like I'm not inside the house anymore. So that's the game plan. One thing that I'm going to show you guys how to do immediately is how to get a open source image on the internet so that if you I mean, I guess if you were using something like this professionally, it would be legal, and you wouldn't be like on the grounds for any kind of lawsuit or something. So we're just gonna do that really quick, if you guys will indulge me. Um, the workshop will go for an hour, so we'll end around 2. Um, though we don't have to necessarily end right then. So if there's any questions or anything, I'm totally willing to field all of that. Um, but yeah, so we're gonna give you the really quick teaching moment. Also, I'm doing this on Windows. I'm doing that because I feel like there's a lot of people that use Windows outside of the graphic design program. So I mean, effectively, all of the things that I'm gonna teach you are the same on both computers or operating systems, so you'll be fine. But yeah, so we're just gonna go to Google. It's as easy as that, and we're gonna look for a tropical beach to to teleport me somewhere else. And we're gonna go to images up here, the best place to find some nice backgrounds. Um, I'm thinking I also want to use my photo as reference. So we're gonna find one that fits the vibe and kind of the angle of the photo that I'm in. So we'll just pull that up really quick. So I took this earlier today. My photo's staged so that I look like I'm about to go on a tropical vacation, but yours can be literally anything that you have on your phone or that you can find. The type of photo doesn't matter too much. We can make it work no matter what. So here's me. Um, I'm just gonna pull this off to the side and kind of scale her down a little bit, and we're just gonna kind of like see what we can find that will fit this vibe. Yeah. So here we go.
You know what it is.
I want it to be sunny. So this is like a classic. I feel like this one, maybe. I feel like I maybe want people though, or I want like, oh, that looks kind of nice. Oh, wow. Should I have my feet in the ocean? I'm feeling like I want my feet in the ocean. Oh, that's cute. Oh, guys, hold on a second. We have to do this the legal way. There's a tools bar right here, right there. It says tools, and you want to go to their size, color, usage rights, type, time. We want to go to usage rights. And we have all of these options here, and we are going to hit labeled for not new, labeled for reuse, labeled for non-commercial reuse. Yeah, so we were good for labeled for non-commercial reuse, which just means we're privately making this photo out of something. So yeah, I guess we do have to social distance. You're right, Riley. So we could always Photoshop people to be farther away from me, which is definitely a possibility. That looks pretty good. I don't know if the colors feel right to me in this one though. Like I want it to be brighter and happier. That's just a bad Photoshop job. Oh, this looks cute. We could actually change some colors and stuff, so we could have some fun with this. Yeah, let's do it. And were you asking what was in my cup, Rosemary? Because it's fruit punch. Um, Beach. So just gonna name this file, and I'm gonna put it into a folder where I know where to find it, as per usual. And let's get Photoshop open in just a second here, and then we can really get into this. So I'll really show you how we're gonna go about doing this. Great. Does anyone have any questions so far, or are we good to continue on? Is the stream seeming like it's holding steady, no problems yet? I'm gonna check. Perfect.
It's the like.
Yeah, looks like we're doing all right. Okay, cool. Great. So, ba ba ba.
Solo.
Awesome. Yeah. Guys, now would be a good time. Put out those feelers again. Anyone who you know that might want to learn how to do this, it's great for making memes, and pranking people, and like just doing general Photoshop's great. We're gonna learn a bunch of like small tools that a lot of people use for like Photoshop composites and stuff. So it's like gonna be really good. Um, but yeah, it'll be good. Yeah, Nick. So there's a new link.
Do you want a picture of the
Um,
snow or
I
like?
sent out a revision, um, but hopefully it works. It seems like we have a decent amount of people here, so we're gonna do our best, and we'll get going. So as soon as it hits 110, I will begin to create a Photoshop masterpiece. Adobe CC Meme Shop. That's us. That's what we do. Um, for anyone that doesn't know, graphic designers are actually just we're meme machines, basically. We have all of the skills to create wonderful memes all day long. Great.
Been reading.
Cool. All right, guys, it's 110, so we're going to get right into this
Really?
whole situation. So, upon opening Photoshop, you will discover this screen here. This is our first screen. These are like projects that you have been working on and all of that. So, I'm going to hit this create new button, and that will slowly
Yeah, I just
pop
hate when
up
my
another
process
window that's going
is
to ask us
I
like the
I have like
dimensions of what we
severe
want to
lack of
make,
motivation because I have to be physically
etc.
reminded every
So
day.
yeah,
So
here is that.
it's been a little rough
And we
lately.
want to set up like a specific size for this. And there's a bunch of like already set sizes. Typically, when you're making stuff for screens, if you want it to be like a full image or whatever, you're going to go with 1920 by 1080 or 1280 by 720. They're all kind of the same. The size really doesn't matter too much. So I'm going to make a 1280 by 720 because it's not too big. Um, and the resolution down here, I usually just keep that at 300 if you want it to look really crisp. We don't have to worry about getting into the whole like complications of that right now. So I'm just gonna hit create, and we'll get an artboard up. That's what this area is called here. I'm going to be using a lot of shortcuts, and I will try to call them out the whole time. But if you don't know what shortcuts I'm using, please just ask, and I'll try to answer your question. But one of my favorite really quick things is if you press Command on Mac or Control on PC, um, plus and minus, that's just going to be zooming in and out. I'm going to be using that like very, very often. And if you're zoomed in to a point where I'll get to that in a second. We'll try to do it as it comes. So I think the first thing I want to do is just open my beach photo. So I have my window open where I have my two files saved. I have Tom on Vacation and Beach. I'm going to throw Beach, just drag it right into
Yeah.
that artboard, and that will open up our image. It'll automatically be at the resolution that I saved it at or the size. Um, and to do this, I can like, this is either fine, but we want it to like fill the whole space. So in Photoshop, if you just grab the corners of anything like this, you see how my mouse changes? That means it'll start scaling. Now, without pressing any other keys, this is going to scale without distorting anything, which is a great new feature that Photoshop has added recently. Um, and it's kind of weird because it used to be that you had to hold shift, but now you don't. And you can press the arrow keys with an object or an image selected, and that will move it around like pixel by pixel, just to get it nice and centered up. So I actually think I want this to be a little closer because um, I want to show me like really well. So I'm just gonna make this bigger and just kind of move it into my frame a little bit. That looks good. Great. I pressed enter, um, and that just makes it so that it'll like set the image right there. Um, you can also press like a little check mark that pops up here,
Um,
and that works just as well. Hi, Kira. Thanks for coming. It's good to see you here. It's good to see everybody here. This is fun. Okay, so now we have this image. We have a beach, and it was as easy as that. We're already halfway there. Um, and now we are going to do the more complicated part. So it should be pretty fun. All right. So you see, we've got Tom on vacation, and we are going to do the same thing we did with the beach. And we're just going to drag this bad boy right into the frame, and you'll see that it's popped on top. So that's great. We have me, the angle's going to be a little weird, but it'll be fine. We're not going for perfect perfection, like it'll be fine. So we're going to scale me down to about the size I think I might be compared to maybe these chairs. That might be good. Roughly, we can always
just kind
change
of
this.
like
And so you see this check
how
mark up here. When I pressed enter earlier,
just
it's
kind
the
of
same thing as
like
pressing this
story that they
check
have
mark.
in like
It's
every
committing to the
every
transform, which
niche
means
that
we just changed the size of the image.
developed over
So I'm
time.
just going to hit that.
So I think
And we're
it's kind
great.
of important to talk about the
So
fact that it is like
now we're going
kind of
to
based
zoom in
chronologically
with
the type
Control
of art
Plus,
and
and we're going to
as
get really
she
close.
grows her
And we're
understanding
going to
of like
start looking at like my beautiful
she's
face and my
developed
pretty drink.
um,
Um,
social
it's
structure
kind of
and
like
like
a little like
constructed
pixelated
socially as
actually,
well, where it kind of understands
but
and
it's fine.
sees like
We'll
community
we'll
within
just
that.
deal. Okay, there's a few ways that we're going to do this. This is one of the big things that we're going to do with Photoshop, which is the fact that, um, you know, I have a background. That's my freaking living room. And we don't want the living room in there because we want to make it look like I'm on the beach, right? So here's what we're going to do. We're going to grab the quick selection tool
There
and
are
we're going to
a
try
couple
this first. There's a
little
lot of different ways to
little
make
animations
selections
from
and
the
like cut
and
people out or crop
props.
things out of a photo, but
So
this is one of the ways.
the
The
party
click
atmosphere
selection tool is the
is
fourth
like a
tool
spot
down
or
on the left hand side,
there's another one like
and it's going to give us this like
like those
paintbrush
two
kind of
things
thing.
which really stuck out to me.
And here's the size that's up here. So there's a size up here for everything. It's this little like ball next to all these settings. We're going to click that. We're going to kind of bring the size down because wherever we click, we're going to get a dotted line that's moving. Um, and that's called dancing ants, I think is like the lexicon. These are our dancing ants. I'll zoom in to show you them even better. So here they are. You can see they've highlighted my face automatically, and that's just Photoshop figuring it out on its own. We don't have to do much work to tell it to do that. Um, so we're just going to cut me out. So we're going to try our best with the quick selection tool. This is like the quick way to do it. And a lot of the times it can look a little weird when we do it this way just because of the nature of it. But yeah, so we're just going to grab me and we're going to do our best to just get my body, but it will grab some other things as well. So see how it's kind of like screwing up, and whenever I go over the edge, um, yeah, Janie, I'll explain that. The magic wand is a very, I think it's like the automatic one. Yeah. So Janie, you see how the magic wand just selected a single thing that I clicked on? I'm not able to paint things. Do you see what I mean? It's selecting a color range and just picking it. So by doing this, it's just picking colors, and that's all the quick, or that's all the magic wand does. So I would pick I usually use the quick selection tool because I can paint, and I can show you another quick trick that's really useful with it. But yeah, so, oh yeah, and the magnetic lasso. I'll show lasso tools in a second because personally, I think they're a little funkier. But I'll get to them. We'll do this a few different times on a few different backgrounds, maybe just to show all these tools. But yeah, remind me of the magnetic lasso. So again, we are just going to paint. Also, guys, if you're going into any tool sets over here and it has an arrow on it, if you click and hold,
I really like
you'll
this
get
one.
like a bunch of different tool options, and that's where I found the magic wand tool, which is useful for other certain things.
Behind it is
So yeah,
growing up there were some
we're
pieces
just
that
going to
that
kind
always
of
made
paint
my peers
over
feel
me
good enough for people around me or myself. It
and
is still
see what
tiring,
we can kind of do.
or it is still tiring to
It's
always
going to be
be
weird to
present
get down to my
but
feet here.
simultaneously
Um, so
but
sorry that we're doing that.
simultaneously
So now we have
effortless.
this
And I
weird
think that
situation
there's
where we've selected a lot of stuff that we didn't
what I'm
want
trying
to,
to is
um,
that kind of
but there is a way to
tension
fix that.
that sucks.
By pressing Alt on your computer, our quick selection tool will go from adding onto our quick selection to subtracting from our quick selection. This is super useful because that means anywhere that's unselected, if we start clicking and dragging in there, it's going to start moving that back into place and just kind of like Photoshop doing a lot of the work for us again. But by doing that, we can kind of finesse our quick selection back into the places that we want it. So this just takes a little work, and that's okay. But it's still way faster than a lot of ways you would do this otherwise. And if you screw up, like I just did really quick there, but didn't explain, you want to press Control Z or Command Z. That just sets you back a step in the like actions you've been doing. So very good thing to remember. Control or Command Z is literally your best friend. So yeah, again, by subtracting out all of these little dancing ants, we are going to get a good chance here. A good little cutout. All right. Beautiful. Very nice. Oops. Oh my God, what was that? We love computers. Very good. Oop. Okay. Yeah. So that's that's pretty good. This is like fairly close to what we want. Um, so now we have a selection. We have a selection of me. We can see it's a pretty decent cutout. We're basically just doing like scrapbooking on the computer. So that's a good way to think about it. Um, and now to cut this out, we're going to make sure we're selected on the layer. So Photoshop works in layers, things above other things, like we can see here, and we can tell what's where by looking in this panel over here. It's layers. So Tom on Vacation is on top of beach, and we have it selected because it's highlighted. We want to make sure that's true. I am going to right click, and we are going to say, ooh, oh, where is it? Oh, we don't actually have to do any of that. Let's see. Okay, so what just happened is I tried to delete everything by pressing backspace, but I got a error message that said I can't because it's not a smart object. And we're going to change that, or it's not directly editable. So to make it directly editable, my quick way to make it editable, which means we can change things about it, is to press B or select the brush tool, which is over here. And then I just click it, and it's going to ask if I want to make changes, and I'm going to say okay. And that makes it editable. Now we're going to go back to our quick selection tool, the quick, like the hotkeys W, and we're just going to click that quick selection, and we are going to press backspace, and oops, I cut a me-shaped hole in my photo. This happens all the time. I'm going to press Control Z, Command Z to go back. And what we have to do here is we have to invert our selection. So right now I have me selected, and I want to just kill the background. So what I'm going to do is there's this marquee tool. Actually, do I need to do that? No. Okay, cool. Great. So just right click with the tool that we're on right now and select inverse, and it'll change a little bit. And now if you hit backspace, it'll delete everything but me. Great. So now we have a beautiful little cutout of me on the beach. I want to get rid of my dancing ants now so that they are not like cluttering up my workspace. And to do that, there's a really nice little hotkey, and that's just Command or Control D. Perfect. Oh, and it looks like I had a feather on mine. Whatever, we can deal with that. Okay, great. So now we have me on this beach, and I can just kind of grab me and move me around. So there he is, dancing around on the beach, which is really great. But yeah, cool. So here I am, and I want to, so our background, I think we can call it like, it looks pretty good, but there's a few things that we want to edit here, I think. Maybe I'm a little smaller than this. When you're changing the size of something, it's Control T or Command T, and that's going to give you like able to like, change the size of me or the person. And your shadowy foot would look good in the palm shadow. Yes, it would. Made a, yes, right there. I think I need to be a little bigger based on these chairs though. So something like that. Yes, perfect. Great. And I'm thinking we can get a little crazy with this in a second. So great. I mean, this already looks pretty fun, and I'm pretty excited about it. So looking good on the beach. We've already done a lot of really good work here. So yeah, it's great.
That was my point too.
Now let's get the rest of this all squared away. I don't really know how in depth I should go, but we're just gonna do what I might do, and try and keep it simple.
I think that's even a good
So
point.
this definitely looks weird,
kind of exposition for the
and there's a lot of reasons for that. There's like lighting reasons and everything. So actually, what I'm thinking we can do is kind of change the colors around a little bit to get things matched. So we have Tom on vacation, and we have the background, which is beach. Tom on vacation, I want to make some adjustments to. So there's an adjustments panel, and you can find it down here on this like circle, and it's got one half is like dark, one half is white. and we have all these adjustment layers, or we could go to adjustments here, and this is the more preferred option, I think. And there's a bunch of different things here that we can change. There's brightness and contrast, levels, curves, exposure, hue, saturation. So all these different things. And these are all going to be really helpful in like changing up my boy here. So we're going to set up an adjustment layer. And the first thing we're going to do is, we don't want blending options. We're going to create a clipping mask, and that's going to make it so that it's only affecting the layer directly below it, I think. Yep. Good. I'm right. That's probably a good thing for the person leading the workshop. So yeah, we have this brightness thing, and I feel like I'm just a little dark generally for this photo. So we're gonna up my brightness just a little bit. A lot of these adjustments you don't want to get too crazy with because it'll start to look really wrong or like too much. And I'm actually gonna bump my contrast is gonna get bumped down a lot, which just means my darks and lights are less far apart. So you can see the difference there. So we're just going to bump that down. We're going to zoom in a little bit too, just so we can see exactly what's going on here. So now we have a nice adjustment layer that we've changed the brightness a little bit. And so that looks nice. You know, we're looking good. I feel like there's still a few things that we can do. Like, I'm going to make a new layer. Okay. And I don't want that to be an adjustment layer at all.
Exactly. If there was a response
okay,
to that, it would have been
great.
yeah.
There's a few things I want to try, and I think I want to do it on the beach. Okay, so I'm going to make myself just a little shadow on the beach because I need a little shadow to show that I'm actually standing here and I'm not just like floating out in space. And so one way to do this is I'm just going to edit the beach directly. So we need to make sure, or I'm going to edit above the beach. So I made a layer. I'm going to go through all the steps for you. Please let me know if you have questions. I know I'm going through a lot of things very fast. There's a little button down here. It says create new layer. So like a little piece of paper with a corner turned up. And I know, aren't the shorts great? So we're going to have this layer 1 right here. We can see it in our hierarchy. And to move layers, you just drag them around. So I just drag this directly above my beach. And I'm going to name the layer by double clicking the name. We're going to call this shadow, just so that we know exactly what it is. An easy way to make a shadow is actually going to be one of my favorite tools, which is the burn and dodge tools. They make things lighter and darker at a basic level. So we're going to use the burn tool. And it's like just like a stick with a ball on it. That's what it looks like on your list of things. It's right above this tool, which is pretty recognizable, the pen tool. And I'm just going to click down on this. And the burn tool is like this hand that kind of looks like this. And I'm going to hit the burn tool. Burn tool is going to make things darker. And I realized just now that we need to ignore that layer. I'm sorry that I made that layer. And we can show 2 ways to do this. I'm going to edit the beach directly. And to do this, we have the burn tool, but we have this little sign that says, no, don't touch this layer. It's not editable. We're going to ignore that by pressing on it anyway and saying, okay. And that just makes it so that this layer is now editable. Like any tool that is going to be like a paintbrush effect, just like we used the quick selection tool earlier, the options will always appear in this top bar of the screen. And what I did is I just changed the size a little bit because I don't want it to be too big. So we're going to get really close to these feet and we're going to start making myself a little shadow. If you really want to get super into this, we can like see where the sun is. It looks like the sun's pretty high up because these shadows are just being cast directly down in a lot of places and they're not too long. At least I think I'm right on that. And so we really just need a shadow right below me for the most part. So right now I have the range as midtones. There's a lot of settings up here. They should be pretty good when you just start doing this. And I'm just going to start kind of painting around my feet a little bit and darkening that up. Great. So now we got a little shadow. Now, there's another way to do this that actually might work a little better for us. Our shadows aren't going to be perfect. We just have to deal with it. That would take a lot longer to do. Another way to make a good shadow would be to just draw one. So if I was a perfectly little round human being, it would make all of this very simple. So we're just going to act like I am. We're just going to make a little round shadow. This is a pretty good way to do it. I'm pretty happy with how that turned out for the most part. Not too bad. And we can actually, there's a few other things we can do. We might even be able to paint on me a little bit to like give me a little more like, that's in the light. Yeah, because I'm kind of under this thing now. So this part of my body would be in shadow. Yeah, why not? Great. Looking good. All right. So again, these are all going to be very basic tools and hopefully just teach you a little bit about Photoshop. We're going to make a shadow on this layer now, on the shadow layer that we made earlier, just to give it a try. I'm going to go to these tools here. They're way down at the bottom. It's just a rectangle. There's the rectangle tool, rounded rectangle, ellipse. We're going to use the ellipse. And this is just a drag. So it's a click and drag tool, which means we're just going to click and drag. And it'll fill with whatever color I have set up over here. So you can see I have this light blue, and we don't want that. So we're going to double click that, and we're going to change to have a black, fill, which is that right there. So I'm going to make myself a little cartoony shadow. And as you can see right now, it's just this black mass. So it looks like a hole that I'm going to fall into. And that's not quite right. We want it to kind of look more like these shadows. So we can do that by just adjusting the transparency or opacity over on the right side of the screen. And so here's the opacity. It's right above the layers. So right here. Cool. And we just click the drop down arrow and there's a slider. And we can just slide it and see it change. And so that actually doesn't look too bad. So that's my little shadow. It's like a little disc I'm standing on though. That's why I like the burn tools and dodge tools. And I mean, you can do all sorts of things. You can even paint in a shadow if you wanted to. There's a lot of different things we could do. But for now, we're just going to do this. Great. I just wanted to show you a few different ways to do that. And you can do a lot of experimentation. All of that. So great. We got this little shadow going. Good. Now, Tom on Vacation needs a little more adjustments because there's a few things here that kind of just don't match up. I kind of want to change around some of the like vibrance and colors. So we're going to go to adjustments again, and we're going to make a new adjustments layer. And we are going to do not vibrance. We're going to do hue and saturation. These are fun. And I'll just show you. We're just going to play for a bit because I think that'll be a good way to learn. So I've now made a hue and saturation layer. And you can see it is now above Tom on Vacation, and it has this little arrow and this link, which means it's a clipping mask, which means it's only going to affect the layer that is Tom on Vacation, which is what we want. So we're just going to kind of play around with these up here. It's really fun to play with all this stuff. Hue is going to change me and make me look like a little alien, so it's like I'm having a party. Looks like I'm at the discotheque. And god damn it. And yeah, so that's what that first one does. We can kind of, hue is a dangerous one. It's like it's definitely its own thing, but if we change it just a little bit, I'm just trying to kind of match some colors to the environment and make this look a little more like I belong here. That's just kind of a thing that you got to do with your eyeballs. It's something you just get with time. Saturation is going to basically change how sharp and vibrant these colors are and how intense they are. So you can see if I go all the way up, it starts to get really weird. But if you go all the way down, I turn black and white, which is kind of edgy and cool. So sometimes I'll bump saturation up just a little bit to make some colors pop, like +6. And then there's lightness. And lightness just does exactly what it does. It's not quite like the brightness that we had earlier. It's literally like adding white and black to this image. So if we actually give me a little bit of lightness, that might actually the darks are darker than that. Yeah. Colorize is just going to change everything to a color. So if we click that based on your hue, it'll change it to that color. So that gets kind of crazy. But yeah, I'll read that quick tip out too, Jenna. Quick tip. If you double click on the layer you want to make editable in the layers panel, that works too. I used to do it the way Thomas did too, but I found that works better for me. Yeah, and there's plenty of like ways that you can kind of Photoshop's, your tool and you can use it how you want. Okay, great. So I'm looking for some things that I might want to do. I might throw a color balance on here just to see if we can get these colors a little closer to what I'm looking for. I think the sun in this photo is a little yellower than the white lights that I took this under in my room. So I'm just trying to get it a little yellower, kind of. Yeah, that's not bad. Cool. Oh, that's okay, Jenna. You're fine. Don't worry about being behind. Great. So now we've got me here. There's a few things that I want to do also with how we cut me out that I want to clean that up a little bit. This actually doesn't look as bad as I thought it would with the quick selection tool, but down here we've got some problems. So we're going to fix those. We're just going to literally straight up use the eraser tool, and I'll teach you how to use that because it's a good tool. Eraser tool is just going to erase whatever layer we're on straight up, and it's right down here. The hotkey is E. And we're going to change the size of it to get it a little smaller. All of our measurements, by the way, are based in pixels right now because that's how we set up our document. That's a good thing to note. So I've got this little eraser tool, and right now if we go into these settings, hardness means how soft the edge is. So the less hardness I have, the more of a like soft edge the eraser will have to it. And so we don't want too soft of an edge, but I'd say like around 90 like I had earlier is probably good. There's a bunch of settings that you can change, but all we want is to kind of just clean up this mask and take out some of those much harder shadows that we know were the floor and not my leg. So we're just going to do that. You can see how this can get out of hand very quickly by like cutting people's legs in half and stuff. And we don't want that. We want to keep our legs on vacation today. Just cut around those feet. Nice. Or a little here. Just shape that mask. There's some there too. We just want it a little more clean. Really nice. What a happy guy. I'm just happy I'm on vacation. Awesome. So this one's going to be hard. That's a really dark shadow right there. I just zoomed in really, really, really close. And we are going to make our brush really small and just get that out of here because it's too dark in there. Perfect. Looking pretty good. Just, you could do this for as short or as long as you want. I mean, the more time you spend cleaning up this edit, the better it's probably going to look, whatever. So yeah, there's some stuff down here too that's kind of weird that I want to cut. Awesome. Cut, 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 cut. And bigger. All right. All
because I
right.
feel like
Cool.
like
Oops. Cut this.
the gap in social pressure to look a certain way. So like in the whole
Awesome.
cigarette anecdote, if you're
Good.
to just expand on it a little more, like the guy says, "Oh, if you're pretty, you can
Nice.
get into any club where you are," or just because you can do eye makeup
Not bad.
a little
Okay.
more,
Cool. So guys, let's get really
or
crazy.
even
Let's make an illusion happen here. Let's
add some more like
The thing that I
but
miss
like
about
that's
vacation right
bullshit. Like
now
what the hell does
is
he have to do to get
digging my little
a
toes into
client
the
for a
sand.
cigarette?
So I want to do that, but in Photoshop. I want my feet to be more grounded to the environment by sticking them partially in the sand. So we're going to dip those toes in by doing a little clever erasing and then some other stuff that should be a little magical, hopefully.
Yeah.
Um, so I'm going to zoom in again, and this is where this is going to get kind of crazy and fun. So we got these feet here and they're sitting on top of the sand, and I'm just not having it. I want this to be more like, look at me dipping those toes into the sand. All I'm doing is erasing in a shape that might look like my feet are in the sand and not on top of the sand, if that makes sense. So we're just going to kind of like do that. And that should be pretty good. Okay, cool. So those feet are now more or less in the sand, and it also starts to get rid of that weirdness I was having with like the angle that this photo was taken at, because you can't quite see that my feet are like totally down at that angle. So now we got feet kind of in the sand, and there's a few things that we can also do with that to even make it look even better. I'm gonna go back to my beach layer, and I'm gonna go back to my dodge tool. I'm gonna make it really small, and I'm gonna put it on shadows. Yes, perfect. So what I'm doing now is I'm gonna add like some really dark shadows around where the feet enter the sand, and that's gonna make it look like
It is a lot.
they are actually
Like,
dipping into that sand.
from what I can gather from the title, it is a set of like journal entries that kind of
Like this.
dwell on thoughts and events that happen in
Okay.
life, and she kind of keeps coming back to this feeling of
That looks a little weird for sure. So we need to like chill out on that.
and just like the long
If we change our exposure, that's going to change the intensity of the burn tool. So that's just all I'm doing here.
these like memories
Okay.
these thoughts.
And making it a little bigger
I would say it's
would also be good.
follow like if it were chronological, but I don't think it necessarily is because they are such short little sections that
Okay.
can come from a journal. I can assume.
Awesome. Great. We love that.
But it's about
So we got those feet in the sand. You know, here's something that's kind of bothering me. I don't feel like my drink is like bright enough. So let's do some more. Actually, you know what we should do first? Sorry guys, I'm all over the place. What we should do first is let's add some adjustment layers to this beach. Let's try and get the beach to match me. I don't want to change for the beach. The beach can change for me. Let's go to adjustments. Let's change the beach around a little bit just to play with that. We're going to do the same thing that we did earlier. We're going to make a clipping mask. I think if I can find it, there it is. So, and also whenever I do something like that, it's always a right click. So I just right click the layer and turn it into a clipping mask. Great. Okay, so now we have this clipping mask of the beach. You can change the brightness and all of that jazz. So we're just gonna make the beach a little more or less contrasty. Not changing too much, but I do think this ocean could be a little bluer. And so we're gonna try and change that with some adjustments. We're gonna go to hue and saturation. We can change that with some saturation. Yes, that's so good. Yeah. Alien beach. Should I be on an alien beach? Okay. Good. Yeah. Yeah, that's good. Why not? Cool. Made some adjustments there. I don't know how many more adjustments I want to make on that, but I do know that I want my drink to be a different color. So I'm going to teach you another thing, guys, just as we're going. One of my favorite things to do in Photoshop is change the color of things because I think that's kind of fun. Um, so bear with me. We're going to get into some more crazy stuff here. You'll remember I did touch on the brush tool a little bit earlier. We're going to do it again. There's a brush right here. I'm going to click on it, and there's things in the sub menu of the brush. So if I hold, then it will open up some other brushes that I can use. There is one in here, the color replacement tool, and you can have a lot of fun with this. It's very big, so we're going to change down the size again. All those settings are always up there. Um, this is definitely more the size we want. And I'm thinking I want my drink to be, I want it to be pink. So your color's always going to change on this tool based on what you have loaded into your little situation down here, these two colors. And you can also see them being selected up here. So I can change it just by grabbing this little bar. It's pretty intuitive. And then just dragging around on here. And I'm thinking I want like a hot pink drink, which isn't too different than what we have here, but this is just to show you a little bit what's going on. So this layer is already ready to edit. If I touched my face with this, it would change my face pink. So that's really good. Make it look like I got really sunburned. Yeah. But we're here to change the drink color. Okay. There we go. And pink drink. So now the drink's pink. That looks great. We really crushed it. And I'm thinking, so with this tool too, you can kind of like make your colors a little more vibrant too if you wanted to. So my shorts, like I want these shorts to be like more blue or more green. So we're going to give that a shot. Ooh, I just did something that I haven't talked about yet. If you press I, like the key I, you'll get the eyedropper. And that just selects any color that you want by clicking on it. So to get these shorts, I picked this blue right here, and you can kind of see me when I click on that. And I'm going to make it just even bluer, like bright blue by changing it up here. So now that's selected. I'm going to go back to my brush, or I'm going to press B, which will take me back to the brush. Color replacement's already selected on this, so we don't have to do anything else. And I'm just going to start painting these shorts. And you'll see that nothing is happening because they're really close to the same color, and it's because we're changing hue. So we're literally changing the color. But if I change the saturation, we're going to see a big difference in these shorts because now it's like doing something completely different. It's not changing the color anymore, but it is changing how saturated that color is with a different color. So we had a few weird things go on with the saturation change, which I'm going to get rid of because I don't like that. I just wanted to try. We can also, I think we can change, yeah, the color will do a similar thing, but it won't give us those weird colors because it's a different way that Photoshop is reading this. So I just want these shorts to be a lot bluer because I think that's kind of fun. Really nice. Oh yeah, we're getting more and more neon. And see, I also think that my sunglasses, this isn't doing my sunglasses justice because my sunglasses are really cool and they need to be a lot bluer than they are. So here's a good use for a magic wand tool, actually. And I'm going to show you how to do that. I would have a really hard time trying to color change these sunglasses or give them a hue change up here. Let's make them like orange. So we'll have to do a few steps here to make them really, really pretty, but we're going to get really close to these. And it's upsetting that they're just not doing they're not looking as good as I want them to. So we actually get the magic wand and we can just select where the sunglasses are. And if you hold shift while selecting with the magic wand tool, you can select multiple areas. So there's my sunglasses. We have two selections on them and I want them to be orange. So we're going to do that. And now we just paint over it like nobody's business. Now they're kind of orange, but I want them to be even more orange. So we're going to bump up that saturation. Um, and then let's paint in a little shine maybe. That could be kind of nice. So we're going to go to the brush tool, just the straight brush. So click, hold, and we have a brush now. I'm going to size that down way small because we are working pretty small in this Photoshop file. I maybe should have worked bigger, but you know, it's okay. And we're going to change our opacity up here. So this whole bar has all these different options. One of the more important ones is the opacity. Going to bring that down to like 50%. And we have a normal brush. And I'm just going to paint a white highlight from where I think the sun is, like on top of these sunglasses. This might look super weird. But from far away, it might look pretty normal. Nope. But it's definitely looks like something. But it was a fun try, and I taught you how to use that select tool. Maybe we should just make those pink. Maybe that's the thing that we should do. And then we'll need to, now we need to change the hue to pink. That's white. We want to change the color. Oh, there we go. Yeah, pink sunglasses. Okay, good. So now we have those pink sunglasses. Those stand out a lot more now. I'm kind of starting to match with these pink chairs, which I think is really nice and exciting. So I've always wanted to hang out with a dolphin, and I think that that would be a good way to wrap this all up. So let's get even crazier. You guys, we're all social distancing, but I don't think dolphins can catch coronavirus. So let's throw a dolphin in. What I'm doing is I'm going to find a dolphin, and we're going to do, oh, this isn't even Google. You want Google for this kind of stuff, by the way. So we're going to find a dolphin. If you search for a dolphin PNG, that's going to be a transparent image. And that's going to be really helpful if you're trying to make some quick composites like we are. And I want to hang out with a dolphin. So this dude actually looks pretty good. Like he could be interacting with me. I'm just looking for a dolphin that would be able to sit on the beach with me and have like a pina colada. So we're just looking for a dolphin that has the right personality and the right attitude. And we want him to look kind of real. But he doesn't have to be perfect, you know? I don't want to pressure the dolphin into being some kind of perfect guy because he doesn't need to be. Don't know how I feel about these dolphins. Maybe I can just put one and he's like hanging out on the beach, like sunbathing, like laying down. I just don't want to make him look beached because that would be sad. I want him to be hanging out with me. Yeah, you know, let's try this dolphin. Why not? I'm going to save the image, just right click, save as. I'm going to label him dolphin and put him in the same folder as everything else. And we are going to get him into this Photoshop composite. So same thing as I did earlier, go into my folder, grab that image, drag it in, and it's not a PNG file. Okay. So whoever saved that screwed us up. And we need to find a better dolphin. That's why a lot of the time I'll cut these out myself. Who's a good dolphin? Who wants to hang out? All of these are so watery and we need them to be sandy. We need him to be hanging out on the beach with me. I guess he could be in the background. God, we could try putting a dolphin in the background. These two are cute. Those are good dolphins. I want a full body dolphin without water. Maybe we can find one. Perfect. Dolphin, PNG, images. Again, I'm going to do the tools thing again just to teach you guys that we should do this right. Labeled for non-commercial reuse. That means we can use it. That's a dolphin. These are like CG dolphins. I don't really want a CG dolphin. I want like a real guy. But maybe people are protective of their dolphin photos or something. He's pretty okay. That's a weird looking dolphin. I'm not gonna lie. I'm just imagining how these dolphins are gonna look hanging out with me. You know, let's just make this really weird. Let's just get a weird dolphin and make him jump over me. Okay, we got 5 minutes left-ish. So
what you mentioned earlier, Mindy, kind of like
let's grab both these
what
dolphins.
purpose
Two
it is you want to
dolphins.
kind of get at.
Throw them into that
That's where I was
folder
a little bit
again.
lost because it feels
Dolphins.
a lot like a memoir almost, very kind of recollection.
Drag that in.
Um,
Dolphins.
but there,
Oh, these are better dolphins for sure.
kind
Okay.
of what you're saying with the last essay, it
How
doesn't
big are
feel like
dolphins?
there's too much at stake.
They're pretty big, right?
Um, apart from like there's these hints of like this kind of lost love, but I feel like that's never
Okay.
hit hard
Guys, I'm
enough
going to go
to
quick
really like
and
finish the
fast and
essay. It's
furious
not
just to
like,
show you what
oh,
you
this is
could
about
possibly do with Photoshop.
that one thing.
Right
It's
now,
about
I have my
a
pen
lot of
tool.
things, you
By
know?
pressing P, pen over here, I'm on my dolphins layer, and I'm going to draw by clicking point after point, and it'll fill in the spaces for you. And
Yeah, exactly.
click on this, and we're going to make a selection by right clicking. I don't want any feathering. I know this is all very fast. Go back and watch it if you have to, but I really want to get this dolphin in here. It's not directly editable.
Yep.
We got him out of there by the way I talked about earlier. So now we got this dolphin here. Okay. He's looking really nice. But his flipper is getting kind of weird. So bear with me, guys. We're going to dip into advanced Photoshop territory because I figure we're near the end anyway. And we're going to do it. There's this thing called Puppet Warp. I can teach you guys personally how this works another time if you really want. But he doesn't look like... This flipper looks like he's flying, not like he's sitting on the beach. And I want him to look like he's sitting on the beach. So we're going to make some points. And we're gonna just change his flipper and how it sits. We want him to curl more. I want him to like... I want this whole flipper to curl up. Like here, maybe, yeah. Like he's sitting and hanging out with me. That's nice. Yeah! Okay, cool. So we've changed his dolphin, and now he's sitting. Maybe he's leaning on this over here. Okay, now he needs a shadow. So we're gonna do the same thing we did earlier with the burn tool, and we're gonna paint a nice shadow. We need a higher exposure to about 15. We want midtones. Just like that. Dolphin's kind of in the shade now too, so we're gonna paint on him and give him a little bit of a shadow to say that he's under this thing. Give him a little drop shadow there. It'll help it, sell the reality. He needs a little adjustments. So we're going to give him an adjustment layer. We're going to brighten him a little bit and lower his contrast. He's hanging out in the sun. Cool. And then we're going to erase part of him to make it look like he's sitting in the sand. Great. Wonderful. Yes.
I think you nailed it on the head with that.
That's my buddy. That's my dolphin. Hell yeah. Amazing. And okay, one last thing, guys. Let's finish this all up with something really nice. Let's add some text to this. Let's say let's figure out something to say. The text tool is down way at the bottom here. It's just a T, and we're going to draw a text box by clicking and dragging to in a place that we want it. It's going to make us a text layer over here, which is good. And it looks like my type is way too big, so we're going to change that. You can change type size up here. All the tools, they show up here. And so we're going to say greetings.
That Today,
From
but you still have
Paradise.
misconceptions lying between my teeth. I thought that was really
Um,
clean and really got me interested in what was about to happen.
let's
But
do it
then
in pink because that's a
I didn't
theme
know
that
what
we
to
have
expect.
going. And
Yeah.
let's pick a font. You can see all the fonts up here. Um, if they would open. Thanks, Maida. Thanks for stopping by. I hope you had a good time. Have fun in your next meeting. So we can check out all of these fonts. Please pick one that you like and feel strongly about. Today, I'm feeling like Broadway is speaking to me. And we will just we'll put it down here. Greetings from Paradise. Me and my dolphin buddy. We really had a good time. And now let me teach you really quick before you go how to save this. I know we're going a little bit over, but we're going to save this image now. I'm going to go to File. I'm going to go to Save As. This is important. If you want to continue working on this file another time and just be safe in general, I would save it as Thomas Beach Vacation. And it says PSD down here in this save type as right here. PSD. PSD means it's a Photoshop file. We're going to save that. That's all great. Now we have this file saved, and that's great. You can save as you go. I would suggest that highly. Now we're going to save it for realsies, and we want to use it now. So we're going to save as, and we're going to go to JPEG, and we're going to say Thomas Beach Vacation. That's great. It's already named. We've saved the image. We can go into that folder, and we can open up Thomas's Beach Vacation just by double clicking or whatever you're on. Email it to your phone, post it on Instagram, all of that. So there's Thomas's Beach Vacation. Um, I'm really glad we could do this, guys. And hey, I'm going to type this out in the chat.
I'm always a sucker for a love story, so I feel like if you explain it like
Um,
that,
so I just threw something in there. I will throw our email in there as well. Sorry I didn't do that right away. But we want to see your Photoshop composites, guys. Um, we want to see what you made. Um, and we would love to share it with Adobe. Since we're an officially Adobe sponsored club, Adobe gets to see a lot of these things and they like to feature them on their Instagram and stuff. So you have a chance for that to happen, which is really cool. We would love to see what you've made today in the workshop, or what you make after this. So please do send them to us. Um, we really do want to see them. Even if you think it's bad, we don't care. We just want to know that you maybe learned something or had a good time. Um, but yeah, so I think that's it. I will sit here for like another few minutes just to see if anyone has any questions or wants to say anything fun. But yeah, otherwise, I think we're good to go. Um, I will take questions at this time. Yo, thanks for stopping by, Nick. You should send us a Photoshop composite of you on the beach. That would be awesome. Okay, guys, I'm gonna go, but I will be in the chat for like another 10 minutes. Um, so please, if you still have any questions, let us know. Email us your composites. We'd be super excited to see them. And let us know if you're interested in maybe seeing any more of these, or if there's something you want to learn that you don't know that would you would benefit from having a tutorial like this. Thanks again, and we'll see you maybe in another one of these. Bye, guys.